up, Dr. Huff? I'm Lee Silva, and I'm going to be presenting my persuasive speech today. And my live audience member is my lovely girlfriend once again. Say hello.
Hello.
And these are my note cards. And my presentation is going to be on why the United States should keep aiding Ukraine in its war against Russia. And to begin, since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, the United States has funded, according to the Council of Foreign Relations, $127 billion in financial aid and weapons for their war. And if none of this aid was given to Ukraine, Ukraine would have been gone in a blink of an eye, because Russia has a big military power. In this presentation, I will be discussing about why the United States should keep sending aid to the country of Ukraine in the midst of their 4-year war against Russia. Also talking about the start of the war, like its problems, causes of the United States lowering its funds towards Ukraine, and what you could do for this ongoing problem in the world. Russia invades Ukraine in 2022 because of various reasons. The main reason was joining NATO. And according to Elliot Davis Jr., Russia responded back with aggression because it wasn't something that Russia would want, of foreign countries being right next to their borders. Because if anything were to happen, they could get attacked in this blink of an eye. And the problem is that under Vladimir Putin's power, he decided to go on a full-on scale invasion to Ukraine on February 22nd of 2022. Putin tried to take Ukraine on a full invasion scale with over 100,000 troops, which is also the largest land invasion of our present time up to now. And according to a BBC News article, he accused the Western Defensive Alliance, NATO, of trying to gain a foothold in Ukraine to bring its troops closer to Russia's borders. Since the start of the war, the United States has been aiding Ukraine, and if it were not for the United States helping Ukraine with the money, now that it would have been taken over. Now that several years have passed, this ongoing aiding has been lowering with this new presidency and government. And if that happens, it's most likely that Ukraine is going to get taken over by Russia, and its people are going to go through lots of things. I will explain later. This would lead to a bigger problem that would arise from Russia completely taking over Ukraine and its people suffering in its present and its future. According to an article by the Atlantic Council, the consequences would be far beyond just the borders. Russia would be revitalized by Ukraine's people and resources. If the people were to be violated of their rights, it would cause even more countries to intervene in this conflict even after the war is done, because of what the people are going to be going through. Other nations would also try to keep peace with Russia, since Russia would try to invade more countries now that it knows that it could invade Ukraine even after the United States gave it aid. And according to David Yadu, under Vladimir Putin's presidency, he has invaded 5 countries, all which were border countries to Russia, just in his presidency, which is a lot. And how I mentioned, he would probably try to do it again if he already did it with Ukraine. So this is a major problem for them and for the entire world if it keeps getting hungry for more countries. And one of the causes that could happen if the United States stopped supporting Ukraine in the war would be, of course, Ukraine losing its complete territory and the downfall of its government. This would mean that the people living in Ukraine would either have to flee or keep up with this new government and the laws that would be placed by Russia and Putin. the United States would also face a lot of backlash from the entire world for stopping the aid that is being sent to Ukraine. So not only would Ukraine be affected, but the United States would also receive a lot of backlash and hate from the world because they let this happen to Ukraine. And a solution would be that if it were to stop, if Russia taking complete control of Ukraine and overrunning its government, if this were to happen, it would affect all of Europe and the world. According to European Council of Foreign Relations, Ukraine would not be reconstructed, thus leaving people to flee under its new regime, and necessary reforms would need to be put in place to keep peace in Europe and the world. So if any of you watching this want to help out so that this does not happen, you can support the funding of Ukraine war by protesting and making it known of what could happen if they lose the war. So protesting is a good way to let other people and people around the world know, because you're going out and making it known what is happening. And according to the Guardian, one protesting strategy that has been known to be effective in the United States is a peaceful and non-violent protest. To finish off this presentation, I hope that this made you see the effects and the help that the United States had on Ukraine and what could happen to the United States.